Alara wiped the sweat from her brow as she adjusted the metal panel on the side of the research lab. The colony on Saphira 7 was small but growing, a human settlement on the edge of known space. The domed structures gleamed under the soft light of the system's twin suns, but life here was not easy. Supplies were limited, and every day brought new challenges. Alara had always been good at solving problems, and today was no exception. Yet she had an uneasy feeling, as if someone was watching her. She turned sharply, and her heart skipped a beat. Standing a few meters away was a creature she had never seen before. Its skin shimmered with a pale blue hue, and its large, golden eyes blinked curiously at her. It was humanoid in shape but taller than most humans, with long limbs and delicate fingers. "Hello," it said in perfect galactic common, its voice soft and melodic. "I am Vyark. I come in peace. I wish to learn." Alara forced a smile. "I'm Alara." "You're a visitor from outside human space," Vyark nodded. "Yes, my people are scholars. We study life forms across the galaxy. Your species is fascinating." Alara's curiosity mixed with caution. Humans had encountered other species before, but this one seemed different. It had no weapons, no aggressive stance, yet its presence made her uneasy. "Fascinating can mean many things," she said carefully. "What exactly do you want to study?" "My biology. Your structure, your physiology, your limits," Vyark said, stepping closer. Its eyes scanned her like a careful instrument. "I wish to understand humans fully. It is important for knowledge, for coexistence." Alara took a step back. She had expected scientific curiosity, but this was intense. "I'm not sure I'm comfortable with everything," she said. "We have rules for research, boundaries." Vyark tilted its head, expression unreadable. "Boundaries I do not understand." Alara sighed. "It means there are things you cannot do, things you cannot touch, things you cannot examine without permission. I can only allow minimal interaction. 3 inches." Vyark froze, its large eyes widened. 3 inches. "Yes," Alara said firmly. "That is all, nothing more. If you cross that, I will stop this immediately." The alien hesitated, then nodded slowly. "I understand." 3 inches. For a moment, the tension hung in the air. Alara could feel her pulse racing. She had set the boundary clearly, but the alien's curiosity was almost overwhelming. She led Vyark into the lab, keeping her hands on the console as if ready to push it between them if necessary. The lab was filled with tools and instruments. Alara had spent months setting it up, preparing for routine experiments on local flora and fauna. Now she had to adjust everything for this alien visitor. Vyark moved carefully, almost reverently, as it observed the equipment. "Your technology is primitive compared to ours, yet effective," it said. "It adapts to conditions well, efficient." Alara nodded. "We make do with what we have. Innovation is our strength." She watched as Vyark extended one long, delicate finger toward a scanner. She stepped forward, guiding its movement. "Careful, 3 inches, that's all." Vyark paused, then leaned slightly closer, keeping within the limit. Its finger brushed the edge of the device and a small light flashed. "Curious," it murmured. "The reaction is minimal but precise. Your human structures are resilient." Alara smiled despite herself. Even in this awkward situation, she could not help but feel proud. Humans were often underestimated by other species, yet here she was, demonstrating both caution and skill in front of an advanced alien. Hours passed, and Alara found herself explaining basic human physiology to Vyark. The alien listened intently, asking questions that were sometimes blunt, sometimes surprisingly insightful. "Why do humans limit themselves? Why not allow full access?" "Because we have feelings," Alara said simply. "We feel discomfort, we feel pain, and we have the right to say no. Understanding that is part of learning about us." Vyark's golden eyes studied her. "This control, this restraint, it is unusual, yet effective. Your species is remarkable." For the first time, Alara felt a small sense of relief. Despite the alien's curiosity, it respected her boundaries. She could work with that. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the lab. Red lights flashed. Alara's heart raced. She ran to the control panel. "What is it?" Vyerk asked, sounding concerned. "Hostile drones," she said, eyes scanning the monitor. "From the neighboring sector, they've detected our colony." Vyerk's posture stiffened. "They intend harm." "Yes. And they're fast." Alara grabbed a portable control device. "We have to act quickly or the colony could be damaged." Vyerk's hands hovered near its sides. "I can assist," Alara nodded. "Yes, but follow my instructions carefully." Working together, they activated the colony's defense grid. Alara directed the energy shields, recalibrated the sensors, and guided the automated turrets. Vyerk moved with surprising precision, adjusting settings far beyond what a human could normally do. The drones attacked, but the combined effort held them at bay. After an intense half-hour, the last drone was neutralized. The colony was safe. Alara's chest heaved, but she smiled, turning to Vyerk. "Not bad for a first attempt." Vyerk's golden eyes seemed almost shy. "You humans, your courage and intelligence, even when outmatched, it is extraordinary. I see why you survive." Alara laughed softly. "We have to. There's no other choice out here." The alien nodded. "I apologize for the earlier misunderstanding. Your limits, your 3 inches, are respected. I will not cross them again." Alara felt a small sense of pride. Not only had she defended her home, but she had also taught an alien a lesson in respect and consent. Humans had survived countless challenges, and here she was proving once more that cleverness and courage could match even the most advanced beings. As the suns dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the colony, Alara and Vyerk stood in the lab, observing the quiet aftermath. The alien studied her with renewed curiosity, but now it was tempered by understanding. "You are remarkable, Alara," Vyerk said quietly. "Not just for your species, but for yourself. I will learn much from you." Alara smiled, feeling the weight of the day lift. Despite the fear, the awkwardness, and the danger, humans had shown once again that intelligence, courage, and a sense of boundaries could stand against any challenge in the galaxy. And for the first time, she felt a strange sense of hope. Perhaps with careful guidance, humans and aliens could work together, learning from each other, respecting each other, and surviving together in the vast, dangerous universe. For now, though, she allowed herself a moment of rest. Tomorrow would bring more work, more challenges, and more lessons. But Alara knew one thing clearly: she could handle it. Humans always could. The night on Scifi 7 was calm, though the twin moons cast an eerie glow across the colony. Alara sat at her workstation, repairing some of the damaged sensors from the drone attack. Her fingers moved quickly, guided by experience and necessity. She was tired, but there was no time to rest completely. Every system had to be functional before the next day, or the colony would be vulnerable again. Vyerk hovered near her, watching her hands work with fascination. It had learned much in just a few hours, observing the efficiency of human engineering. Its long fingers occasionally brushed against tools, careful not to disrupt her work. "You work tirelessly," Vyerk said, its melodic voice echoing softly in the lab. "Your species does not rest when danger approaches." Alara glanced up and smiled faintly. "We can't afford to. Out here, laziness is dangerous. Every mistake could cost lives." Vyerk nodded slowly, its golden eyes thoughtful. "I admire your determination, but why do you risk yourself alone? There are others, your companions, your people. Why not let them help?" "Because some tasks are easier to manage one person at a time," she said. "Besides, I trust myself to get it done right." She returned to adjusting a power regulator. Sparks flew briefly and she flinched, but her hands were steady. "See, it's done." Vyerk tilted its head. "Impressive. Humans are small, fragile creatures, yet you are resilient, capable, and clever. I did not expect this level of independence and skill." Alara chuckled softly. You'll learn soon enough that humans are full of surprises. After the repairs, she finally allowed herself to lean back and breathe. Her gaze wandered to the domed windows overlooking the settlement. The colony looked peaceful, but she knew danger could return at any moment. Vyark floated beside her, its presence calm but insistent. "I wish to learn more," Vyark said quietly. "About humans, about your limits, about your courage." Alara raised an eyebrow. "Limits? You mean the 3-inch thing?" She smiled faintly. "I guess I'll have to explain more than just that." For the next several hours, they went over human physiology, culture, and social behavior. Vyark listened intently, occasionally asking questions that made Alara think twice about assumptions she had always taken for granted. Its curiosity was genuine, though at times clumsy. "You humans are complex," Vyark said. "Your emotions, your social structure, they are fragile yet strong. You balance delicacy and resilience in ways my species rarely considers." Alara laughed softly. "That's because we have to. Survival isn't just about strength. It's about thinking, planning, and understanding others. It's about knowing when to act and when to wait." Vyark nodded, processing her words. Its large eyes reflected the dim light of the lab, glowing faintly with thought. "I see. Humans are remarkable not because of size or speed, but because of ingenuity and will." Alara felt a small surge of pride. She had spent her life proving that humans could survive, even thrive, against odds that seemed impossible. Teaching an alien this lesson only reinforced her belief. The calm was interrupted the next day when the colony's sensors picked up a new threat. This time, it was not drones, but a swarm of small, unpredictable alien craft approaching from the neighboring asteroid field. They moved fast, weaving between rocks, and their intent was unclear. Alara immediately activated the colony's alert systems. "Vyark, we have a problem," she said, pointing at the approaching blips on the monitor. "They're coming closer and they're not following a normal flight path. They could be hostile." Vyark's expression hardened. "I will assist. Guide me." Alara handed Vyark a portable control pad. "I need you to focus. Follow my instructions exactly. We can defend the colony if we act fast." Working together, they managed to reroute the colony's energy shields, activating automated turrets and adjusting the sensor grid to predict the swarming patterns of the craft. The aliens darted in unpredictable formations, but human ingenuity kept the colony safe. At one point, a craft broke through the perimeter, heading straight for the main dome. Alara's hands moved rapidly across the control panel, redirecting power to the shields and activating emergency defense drones. The small craft collided with the energy barrier, exploding in a burst of sparks. Vyark watched silently, then spoke softly. "Your species, your courage and quick thinking, it is astonishing. I am learning not just about humans, but about their strength of mind, their resourcefulness." Alara allowed herself a brief smile. "That's what it takes to survive out here. You don't get stronger by giving up. You get stronger by facing problems, no matter how impossible they seem." The threat finally passed and the colony's system stabilized. Exhausted but triumphant, Alara leaned against the console, breathing heavily. Vyark hovered nearby, studying her with what seemed almost like admiration. "You have shown me much," Vyark said. "Not just about humans, but about courage, determination, and intelligence. Your species is extraordinary. I am honored to learn from you." Alara felt a warm sense of pride. It was rare that an outsider could truly appreciate what it meant to be human. But here, this alien, despite its strange appearance and unfamiliar ways, understood something essential. Humans survived not because they were the biggest or strongest, but because they were clever, brave, and resilient. Days passed, and Vyark continued to observe and assist. It learned not just the science, but also the social rules, the human etiquette, and the small boundaries that made coexistence possible. Alara guided it carefully, teaching patience, respect, and understanding. Through their work, a mutual respect grew. Vyark began to see humans not as primitive creatures, but as capable and clever beings. Alara began to trust the alien, realizing that its curiosity was genuine, its intentions peaceful. They complemented each other, human ingenuity and experience paired with alien perspective and precision. One evening, while they monitored the colony together, Vyark spoke quietly. Alara, I understand now. Your limits, your boundaries, they are not weaknesses. They are part of your strength. Your species respects itself, and that is rare in the galaxy. Alara nodded, feeling the truth in the words. Exactly. Respect and understanding go a long way, even with creatures from another world. The bond between human and alien deepened, built on respect, trust, and shared experiences. They had faced danger together, solved problems together, and learned from each other. Alara realized that humans were more remarkable than she had ever believed, and she began to hope that their lessons could extend beyond the colony. Perhaps one day, humans and aliens could truly understand and cooperate across the galaxy. And in that quiet moment, as the twin moons reflected off the domed windows, Alara and Vyark both knew that the future held challenges, yes, but also incredible possibilities. For humans, the ability to endure, to think, and to act with courage would always be their greatest strength, and even an alien scholar could see it clearly now. The morning sun rose over Scifi 7, casting long golden rays across the colony's domes. Alara moved through the corridors with calm efficiency, checking systems, and ensuring the settlement was fully operational. Despite the past challenges, the colony had stabilized, thanks to human ingenuity and careful planning. She felt a quiet pride in how much they had accomplished. Vyark floated beside her, observing every movement with keen interest. It had learned a great deal about human life over the past days, not just scientifically but socially. The alien had begun to understand the value of patience, respect, and empathy, concepts it had never truly encountered in its own culture. Today is important, Alara said softly as they approached the central control room. We need to optimize the energy grid. If another threat comes, we can't be caught unprepared. Vyark nodded. I will assist, as always. They worked in seamless coordination, Vyark adjusting settings with precision and Alara making decisions with quick insight. The grid hummed to life under their guidance, energy flowing smoothly to every dome and station in the colony. Sensors and shields were synchronized, creating a network capable of alerting and defending the settlement from any approaching danger. Alara paused for a moment, leaning against the console. You've learned a lot, Vyark, but there's one thing I want you to remember. Intelligence and technology can do much, but respect and understanding are just as important. That's what makes humans strong. Vyark's golden eyes glowed softly. I understand. Your species, your people, have strength beyond what I imagined. It is not in weapons or size. It is in your mind, your spirit, and your respect for others. Alara smiled. Exactly, and it's something you can carry forward too. Knowledge without understanding is useless. For the first time, Vyark seemed to pause, absorbing the weight of her words. Its posture was reverent, almost humble. I see now. I have much to learn, and I am grateful for your guidance, Alara. As the day progressed, the colony continued its work. Humans repaired equipment, expanded living quarters, and tended to their small gardens that provided fresh food. Vyark assisted where it could, careful always to respect boundaries and maintain the lessons it had learned. Alara felt a sense of accomplishment she hadn't realized she was missing. She had faced danger, navigated misunderstandings, and guided an alien through unfamiliar concepts, all while protecting her people. Humans had once again shown that they could survive and thrive in a universe far larger and stranger than themselves. Later that evening, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the domes. Alara stood by the central observation window, looking out at the quiet colony. Vyark floated beside her, its eyes reflecting the moon's glow. "Do you ever worry," Vyark asked quietly, "about threats beyond this system?" Alara shook her head. "Of course I worry, but worrying alone doesn't help. We plan, we prepare, and we act when needed. That's what keeps us alive, that's what makes us humans." Vyark studied her. "You are remarkable, not just as a human but as an individual. Your courage, your intellect, your care for others, it is inspiring." Alara laughed softly, a sound of both amusement and humility. "You're too kind, Vyark. I just do what I must. Humans survive because we adapt, because we think, because we care. And that's something no alien technology can replace." Vyark's voice was gentle. "Then I am honored to witness it, and to learn from it. I will carry this knowledge back to my people. Humans are not merely a species to study. You are examples of what determination and intelligence can achieve." Alara felt a warm satisfaction. Teaching, guiding, and showing an alien the strength of humanity had been more rewarding than she expected. She realized that humans had much to offer the galaxy, not through conquest or force, but through courage, wisdom, and cooperation. Days turned into weeks. Vyark became a regular presence in the colony, helping with research and learning about human life. Together, they worked on improving living conditions, creating sustainable energy systems, and sharing knowledge. The colony flourished, a symbol of what humans could accomplish when intelligence and resourcefulness met opportunity. One afternoon, while walking through the central courtyard, Vyark spoke softly. "Alara, I wish to ask something personal, about boundaries, about trust. You allowed me to learn, yet you controlled the limits. That took courage." Alara looked at the alien thoughtfully. "It did, and it was necessary. Everyone, human or alien, has limits. Respecting those limits is the foundation of trust. If you ignore them, knowledge becomes dangerous. Understanding becomes harm. Courage is knowing how to act wisely, even when curiosity tempts you otherwise." Vyark nodded solemnly. "I understand. I am grateful, not just for the knowledge, but for your trust and guidance. You have shown me what it means to respect and honor another being. That lesson is invaluable." Alara smiled. "Then I'm glad. That's what humans do. We survive, we learn, and we teach. And sometimes we guide others to see the value in life, in respect, and in courage." The days continued in a rhythm of work, learning, and quiet reflection. The colony thrived, humans and alien working together, proving that cooperation across species was possible. Alara often thought about how far humans had come and how far they could go. Vyark had become more than a student. It had become a friend, an ally, and a witness to the strength of humanity. It learned that survival was not about domination, but about cleverness, bravery, and empathy. Humans were fragile in form, but strong in mind and spirit, and that strength was something the galaxy could not ignore. One evening, as the twin moons reflected on the domed windows, Vyark floated beside Alara and spoke with quiet admiration. "Your species, your people, are remarkable. You adapt, you endure, and you overcome. I see now that humans are more than they appear. You are extraordinary." Alara placed a hand on the glass, looking out at the colony. "We just do what we must, that's all. But it's enough to make a difference even here on the edge of space." Vyark's eyes glowed softly. "I will carry this lesson with me, and I will share it with my people. Humans are heroes not because of power, but because of will, intellect, and heart." Alara smiled. "Then we've done our job. We've survived, we've taught, and we've inspired. That's all any human can do, and sometimes it's more than enough." As night fully fell over Scifi 7, the colony lay calm and safe. The stars above twinkled with silent witness to human determination and courage. Alara felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that humans had proven their worth once again, not just to aliens like Vyark, but to themselves. And as Vyark floated beside her, learning, respecting, and admiring, she understood a simple truth. The strength of humanity was not measured in power or technology, but in courage, intelligence, and the ability to act with heart. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humans were ready, and with allies like Vyark, who now truly understood them, there was nothing they could not face. Saphira 7 was just the beginning. Humanity had survived, endured, and thrived. And the universe would come to know them, not for aggression, but for ingenuity, resilience, and the unshakable courage that made them extraordinary. Alara took a deep breath and smiled. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, but she was ready. Humans always were.